Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to film another good old get ready with me, and I'm going to be using my Nubian palette from Juvia's place as well as the Masquerade palette, and just doing a fairly boring basic look today, but maybe a little extra because it is me. Yeah, so let's get into it. I'm going to prime my face today using my No Pore Problem from Touch and Soul. I'm actually really enjoying this primer. It's super hydrating and soothing, considering that it's for pores. Because a lot of times when you put like a pore primer on, it feels kind of like matted and like almost comes out thick. This goes on like silky, like a serum. And then with that, I'm gonna also add my Laura Mercier Radiance Primer because I really love the way this feels. So I don't know what part of the world you guys are in, but where I am, it is February and feels more like April, May. It's been in the like 60s and 70s, very humid, so it's kind of like you never know how to dress, you never know what your hair is gonna do. I know for me, being like someone with a curly hair texture, it becomes really frizzy, and when the humidity is like 100%, and that's where we've been at, so I'm not really feeling it. Gonna mix my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion with the Tinny Dole Ultra Wear. I really love the combination of both of these together. For the color, the texture, the wear, it's just really good. And the ratio I do is usually 3 pumps of Laura Mercier to a pump of Lancome, just because I love the lightness of the Laura Mercier. It's so soothing and light. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. I'm going to start with an It Cosmetic flat-edged buffing brush, like a foundation brush, and then go in with my Beauty Blender. I don't even know if It Cosmetics makes this brush anymore, but you guys, this brush is so, I don't know, it's just so soothing and soft, and I love it. It really applies my foundation well, and it just feels really good on the skin. Just add a little more coverage in the areas that I tend to need it. And I'm kind of just pressing and trying not to pull too much on my skin, but I kind of just want to press, and then you can circle it. And I'm really like hardly putting pressure on my skin, guys. Now concealer. I think today I'm going to use the Maybelline Age Rewind and a little bit of ColourPop's concealer. This is the color Fair. Like I think this is even the lightest one they make. I'm waiting to get Fair Neutral. I just ordered it, but Fair Neutral is really more my jam because this is really, really light. I'm gonna mix a little bit of the Age Rewind in the color Light because it has a little more peach to it. And I'm gonna grab, let's see, I'm gonna grab a Morphe G38 first, And then I'm gonna go in with this really cool sponge that I have from Real Techniques. It has like an awesome kind of flattened edge here, but then it's got a point, and then it also has a flattened edge on that side. So there's a lot going on, but I'm curious to see how it works. So I'm gonna give that a whirl. And make sure I come in and cover my eyelids so I can use these concealers as primer. So I'm going to try using this smaller edge and this point here just to get under and around my eyes. It's really, really fluffy. I love this texture of the sponge. And I always kind of pre-dampen my sponges. I don't know, the thought of using a dry sponge is hard for me. Even like the Laura Mercier sponges, I get a little creeped out about using it dry. I don't know, I just love the way it feels when the sponge is damp. So I don't know if I have allergies, but my eyes are just so like heavy lately, you guys. I don't know, maybe I'm just old. Probably, I'm just getting old. Okay guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and set, and I'm gonna use that same sponge and my RCMA setting powder. I'm gonna use the smaller side for under my eyes. And when I set under my eyes, I always make sure that I look upward so that I don't have any kind of creasing, and I can also get right up to my lash line without blinking too much and getting too sensitive. Now I'm going to flip to that other flat edge that's a little bit larger and work on my jawline. Gonna go in hard and bake my neck here, you guys. Just cooking up a storm. I think one of the hardest questions that I get asked, and you know, because I do work in makeup, and aside from filming videos, I actually do work as a rep for a company, but the biggest thing that people will say is they want full coverage and they want their skin to look really seamless and pretty, but they don't want to wear a lot of makeup and they don't want to be bothered having to do a lot. What can I say? Like, how do you answer that? The truth is, and this is just being totally blunt and honest, that if you want the appearance of full coverage, there's going to be quite a few steps to it. Unless you're like a miracle worker of some sort, but I have yet to find a foundation that I can put on my face, even ones as nice as the Lancome Tinny Dole and the Laura Mercier, that you can just put on your face by themselves and just kind of do a quick little puff set and go out the door. Unless you have like beautiful skin that just is flawless, even if your makeup starts coming off, it's just not possible. Honestly, when people ask me, oh my gosh, your makeup looks so good or your skin looks so good, it's because I've set and I've set and I've set, you know what I mean? And it's just hard because, yeah, I know people don't want to hear that. If I was, you know, living the simple life, not wanting to do much, I probably wouldn't want to hear that from myself either. But that's the reality of it. It takes setting and it takes a lot to do it. So, sorry guys. The only thing I can't stand about some of these like Juvia's palettes is when you have something as gorgeous as like all of these shades, but then the one light shade that you want to use has like frost and like shimmer to it. Like, no, I want a matte shadow. I like to set my lid with a matte shadow. So I'm gonna go into the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions and grab this really pretty kind of like cream white color and use an Anastasia brush. And this is the A12. And we're just gonna pop this all over lid to brow bone. And now we have our eyelids all set. And I'm gonna go into the Juvia's Place Nubian palette, and I'm gonna take a mixture of this color right here and this color right here and warm up my crease on that same A12 brush. So moving onward, now we're gonna go into the Masquerade palette, and I wanna grab some darker colors. So I'm gonna grab this really pretty warm brown called Zulu, and I'm gonna mix this with the color Ada. So this is Zulu here, and then Ada, which is in like a cranberry family. So warm brown and like a deeper cranberry brown. And just take two of those, little pops of that, and I'm gonna go down to a little bit of a smaller tapered brush. This is the M330 from Morphe, and start working that into the crease now. This is still a pretty fluffy brush, but it's a little bit more tapered from the A12 from Anastasia. Okay, so now that I have that placed, I'm gonna go back in with my A12 from Anastasia and just use this without any color on it and just try to soften some of the darker colors. Now using the BH Cosmetics Marble Pink brush, this is the brush number 5. I'm gonna go into the darkest color now, which is called, I think it's Fulani. I don't know, mine's kind of covered, but it's this color right here. And we're gonna pop our brush into that. And I'm gonna focus this on the outside corner here. So working in that outside V. And this is a smaller, stiffer brush, so it's gonna give me a little bit more placement. Now using whatever's left, I'm just tilting my head back and working it into the crease to marry the colors together. But you should look at it and see that you have the darkest color on the inside, working your way to the lighter colors. And if you felt like you went a little too heavy, you can go back in with a fluffy brush and you can dip into some of those lighter colors and go ahead and just work that back into the crease to try to like soften everything. But yeah, just keep blending until you get it blended down and blended out into what you feel comfortable with. I personally am gonna leave a little punch because it's just who I am. Alrighty, so now we want to go into our lid space and start working there. So I'm going to grab a flat brush. This is the M124 from Morphe, and also going to grab some concealer. I'm going to use my ColourPop concealer. And I want to carve out the front portion of my eyelid. I want to leave the dark on the corner, but start from the inside corner of my eye. And go about halfway, just to brighten up the inside of the eye here. So now I'm going to go back in with my BH brush, the number 5, and back into some of those dark brown colors. And what I want to do is, because we have the lid cut out while the concealer is drying a little bit, I just want to gently buff some of the darker color into the concealer on the outside corner here so that it looks blended and it doesn't look so split up. It looks more kind of smoked out and coming together. So you're just going to diffuse the edge of the concealer by putting a little bit of darker color on the outside corner. And you're also going to refresh some of the dark that you may have lost when you cut out the lid space. Okay. Now going back in with that flat shadow brush, I want to go into the matte white color in the Huda Beauty palette here. And I just want to actually press this color on top of the concealer just to set it. Okay guys, so really quickly, just kind of tap out that same flat shadow brush that you guys have been using. And we're gonna hit that with a little bit of setting spray. If you don't have setting spray, you can use water, whatever works for you. I'm gonna go back into the Masquerade palette now and use this really pretty kind of champagne white color here. And I think it's pronounced Giza, it's G-I-Z-A, but it's a really pretty champagne tone. And I want to take that now on this kind of dampened brush, and we're going to place that on top of the matte shadow that we just put down. And just press, don't pull, because you don't want to displace any colors that you've already placed on your eyes. And one more thing I want to do, because the color in the front of the lid is so light, and then of course we have the smoky side here, I want to put something in the center to kind of, again, marry the colors together. So to do that, I'm going to put this really pretty color, and I think it's Dahlia. I'm so wrong. It's this darker champagne color, so it's kind of like a champagne gold tone. And I want to just pop that on the same flat brush. And we're just gonna work that now into the center of the dark and the light color, just to kind of give it a little transition. And again, just press this color. It's really pretty, and it's gonna soften the edge of the dark color as well. And last but not least, I'm gonna go in with a pencil definer brush. This is from It Cosmetics. And I'm gonna take my darkest color in the palette, as well as that cranberry brown, blend them together, and start lining the under eye. I wanna connect this kind of to the outside corner here, and just create a nice smoky lower lash line. Now going into the color Cairo, which is like a really pretty sparkly kind of orange gold. It's in the Masquerade palette. I'm just gonna take that and warm up the entire lower lash line with it. So now, again, we're gonna clear away any of that bake we have left, as well as any kind of fallout. So you can dip your brush into more translucent powder, or just work with whatever you have left over. And we're gonna dust away from the eyes. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a cute little tabby cat with these kind of like orange and browns and champagnes. So I want to do a little bit of like a cat liner. And to do that, I'm going to use my liquid liner, my Maybelline Curvitude, which is my favorite. And just going to kind of start in the center here just to get some placement and kind of stamp it. And then start working on the outside first. And follow the shape of the eyeshadow to find your wing. Then pull it in and keep it real close to the lash line in the beginning. You want it like really tight and tapered on the inside corner. The hardest thing about liner is recreating it on the other side, you guys. I feel like there's always one side that we have that's our strongest. And today I think it's my right eye. I'm gonna go in now and just dust away any kind of remaining bake that we have with my large fluffy It Cosmetics brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my brows on. So for today, brows are gonna be my Anastasia Dip Brow pomade in dark brown. So stay tuned, we'll be back. Okay guys, so we have our brows on and set. They're a little fierce, but you know what? I'm just working with it. So for contour today, I'm gonna use my Morphe 9C palette, which is again on its way out the door, guys. It's hit and pan, but it's because I just love it so much, but we're gonna make it work. So I'm gonna use this Real Techniques contour brush, which is kind of different in like the actual shape and density of what I normally do, but hopefully it'll work. And you know, I like to mix all my dark colors together when I contour. My palette. All right, and let's get to it. Underneath the jawline. You can even come into the hairline here and contour just to add some depth. And then using the lighter colors of the contour palette, I'm just gonna start working on the upper portion of my head and just kind of working the temples. Using my little BH brush because my doggy ate my other one. Ugh, my dog. Good old Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Ooh. I've heard they came out with like new colors too, like even darker ones. So I'm really excited about that because I love this bronzer. And I think it'll be awesome to have something a little bit deeper for the summertime. Even though I don't get too much color, but I'm just not, I'm like grade level 2 pasty instead of like grade level 1 pasty, so it's crazy. I used to, if you look at pictures of me when I was younger, I tanned so much, y'all. Oh my God, it's disgusting. I don't even like talking about it. I did a lot of natural tanning like out in the sun, but I also did like fake tans with like mousses and like, you know, back then there was like one color. You know, now you have like all these awesome different kinds of self tanners, but back then it was like 1 or 2 generic colors. And man, I was like orange. I'm gonna use my Milani Coral Cove because it is my favorite pinky peachy blush, and I'm gonna pop that on a BH brush, an angled brush. Smile for the camera, find your apples, and work it up into the cheekbone. All right, now I'm gonna grab my Maybelline Molten Gold highlighter, not the rose gold today, and I'm gonna go back in with that sponge and use that small little flat edge, pick up some of this highlighter, and kind of turn to find where the light would naturally hit. And we're just gonna press this and kind of roll it towards the cheekbone. This highlight is so gorgeous, oh my God. And I'm gonna use that same tip of the sponge now and get that on my nose. Cupid's bow. Whatever's left, gonna go in the chin a little. So we are good there. Now I'm gonna actually do my mascara off camera because you've seen it enough and you know it's my Lash Sensational from Maybelline, and then we'll be back to do our lips. Okay guys, so our look is almost done, and to finish it off we're gonna use lip liner, and that's gonna be the color Brown from NYX, which is one of my favorites. This is very 90s, you guys, but we're gonna use brown to line, and then blankety lipstick from MAC to fill it in. I will always love you, whatever words I say. I Okay guys, so this is the finished look, and if you noticed, I kind of touched up my hair a little bit. So whenever I do my makeup and I know I have somewhere to be or something to do, I usually curl my hair beforehand, and then to kind of just pull it apart, make it more piecey and shiny, I like to add a little bit of oil. And one thing that I really like right now is the Way hair oil. I got a sample of it from a Sephora order and I'm digging it because it's kind of like a hair oil, but it has like a little bit of a perfumey scent to it, and I like the way it kind of meshes with my Victor and Rolf flower bomb. So I actually will spray my neck and I spray my hair as well, because of course the perfume is going to linger in your hair. So if you want to feel sexy and glowy and like you're just going to own the day, then spritz your hair a little bit and it'll stay with you. So anyway, I hope you guys like this tutorial, our pumpkin spice tabby cat cafe au lait look. For me, it's basic because like I said, it's just your typical like warms and neutrals, but for you guys, it might be a step up from the rest. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will link my information down below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, keep following, keep watching. I'll see you guys again really soon.